Ah yes, training materials. We want to select training materials that convey the information concisely and effectively and meet the objectives of the course. There are lots of options available, so let's break these down and see if we can find the perfect mix of training materials for your course. Safety videos, universally used and pretty much universally hated. Now, I'm not knocking safety videos. I sell them, I make them, they pay my mortgage. So, big fan of safety videos. Unfortunately, most people use safety videos incorrectly. Safety videos should be used to augment or support the class and help meet the objectives. They should not be the primary means for communicating information. It is recommended that no more than a third of your class should be dedicated to passive learning. Now, passive learning involves just sitting and listening, watching a safety video, listening to a lecture, watching a PowerPoint. Those are all passive learning. You want to keep that to about a third of your class. So you want to select safety videos that help meet the objectives but aren't too long. Because remember, our objectives are performance-based, and safety videos are great for communicating information, but they're not so great for teaching somebody how to actually do something. That requires practice. So again, safety videos are a great tool, but not your only tool. PowerPoints are also a frequently used option for safety training. Now, PowerPoints can be a little... they're not really that exciting. So PowerPoints are a great tool, but it's something that you want to use to outline and expand on the training subjects. It's not something that you just click through, click, click, click. Because quite frankly, PowerPoints put people to sleep. Pick a PowerPoint presentation that meets the needs of your audience. Try to limit each slide to one concept. Don't put too much text on the slide. Animations can be distracting, so only use animations if they're used to support the learning objective. The good thing about PowerPoints is that they're easy to distribute. You can print them out and hand them out to the class and use them as handouts, and you can just email them out to everybody so that everybody has a copy. The job hazard analysis is a great training tool. The employer is required to evaluate the hazards of the workplace and come up with procedures, engineering controls, and equipment to protect employees from hazards. I like to start my training courses by passing out the relevant job hazard analysis to the students and walking through them. As you go through the course, you can refer back to the job hazard analysis as you discuss equipment, personal protective equipment, procedures, and engineering controls. It is a great way to inform participants of the job hazards and the steps they have to take to protect themselves. Accident reports are another great tool. A wise man learns by the mistakes of others. A fool learns by his own, says the Latin proverb. Are there any accident reports or near misses that are related to the subject that you're teaching? Find them and use them. When you reach the section of the course that is related to that particular accident or near miss, pass out the report to the participants and discuss it. Handbooks and handouts are also a great tool for learning. They're especially useful if you're out in the field doing training and don't have traditional facilities available. State and federal OSHA websites have a whole collection of handouts that you can use for training that are thorough, easy to read, and free. They are also handy for taking notes. You want to make sure when using printed materials that the key concepts are emphasized both verbally and in the materials. Operator and instruction manuals, when relevant, are a key component for any safety training course. If you are operating a vehicle, you need to have the operator's manual on hand to review the participants. If you are operating a piece of equipment, make sure you have the instruction manual on hand. As you go through the course, refer to the manuals to emphasize key concepts. And last but not least is the plain old good old-fashioned talky talk. When I say that, I mean lecture. Some of the best training courses I've seen are just an experienced person standing up in front of a group and walking them through the materials. There's no law that says that a safety video or any type of manual has to be involved. However, lecture can be tedious, and remember, you want to keep passive learning down to about a third of your course. So be sure to mix it up with some other materials. Before we wrap up this section on training materials, I just want to go back to the important concept of literacy. Not everybody is great at reading, some people have English as a second language, so as you're evaluating your training materials and picking the one that you're going to use for your course, you want to make sure it's not too text heavy, and if somebody who doesn't read very well or speaks English as a second language has the ability to comprehend them.